mixing up routes and not really keeping the same thing twice. We're trying to kind of keep the defense on their toes. So it is fun to just get new routes and get people trying new things and, just kind of seeing what offense can be and not just setting the same thing every single time.
Are you implementing new routes weekly, or do you have like a playbook full of all the options you have?
Yeah, I mean, we're not implementing new routes anymore. We have kind of things that we've worked on, and we've worked on pretty much everything that volleyball has to offer. We're not like making our own new routes, but so yeah, we have like a pretty set list, but it is big and it's just fun to try new things and just see what we can do and how we can get people one-on-one.
Campbell received high praise from DBK coming in. How would you assess how she did over the weekend?
She's been great, and she's shown that in practice too, and I'm really happy for her that she got to show that a little bit this weekend. She's beyond her years, and she's shown that day in and day out, and I'm glad that everyone finally got to see that too.
And as a follow-up, I apologize. I asked her about being able to watch you because basically you came in and started. She has a chance to learn from someone who's All-American. So how do you feel like she's come in her own over the past 3-4 months, being able to watch you and learn from you?
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely grown a lot just in her all-around game. She was a great setter coming in, and she wanted to get better at defense, blocking, serving, all those things, and she really has. So that's been cool to watch. But it's also a two-way street of me learning from her too, and we both have some different strengths and weaknesses, so I've learned from her strengths, and it's been really cool to kind of just play off of each other and see how we can both push each other in different ways.
What specifically have you been learning from her?
Just kind of, she has a great mentality when it comes to setting. Just, there's no right or wrong. She's going to do just whatever she thinks is right, and she's going to do it with full confidence, and I think that's really cool, and I hope that I can kind of start implementing that a little more too.
You were in her shoes. Is there anything about her that reminds you of yourself, or is there anything that like takes you back to when you were a freshman?
I do think just her mentality a little bit. I think I had that coming in, and college is a different game, and I think I've kind of gone away from that a little bit. So just kind of getting back to the let it fly, just set whoever you want as long as you set it confidently. I think that kind of reminds me of who I was, especially like in high school. I mean, you're always, if you're at Nebraska, you're probably the best player in your high school gym. So it's been cool to see how she just continues to have that same mentality of I'm going to set whoever I want whenever I want, and it's going to be a great set.
Danny said she wanted to give you and Virginia the full match on Friday to continue strengthening your connection. What have you seen from her recently, and especially this weekend, that she was able to have some success from an attacking standpoint?
Yeah, she's been working really hard and just intentionally on footwork and timing, and we've been working on that a lot in practice too. So it was good to see that come out in a game, and I know it's only going to get better from here because she has been coming in early, staying late, trying to kind of get that down.
I know you guys are obviously focused on yourself and your season. Do you guys get a chance to like peek at what else is going on in college volleyball? Like the other teams in the Big Ten that we're expected to are struggling right now, and I guess as a player, what your maybe takeaway from
A little bit. I mean, a lot of times people are playing at the same time as us, or we're in practice whenever they're playing, but it has been interesting to watch, and it's cool because it shows that volleyball is growing beyond just the top 5 powerhouses. There's a lot of other really great teams this year that are pushing even the top teams. So it's been cool to watch, and it's going to be a competitive year of volleyball just throughout all conferences.
Hey, Bergen, Danny has said, I think it was after the Kentucky match, that she wanted you guys to feel like you didn't have to, like she wanted you to play without pressure. She wanted the team to play loose. With the expectations that you have and being ranked number 1, I wonder how difficult of a burden that can be at times to feel that way, and what you've seen her do to get you to accomplish that task.
Yeah, I mean, we always are going to have a target on our back, being Nebraska in general, but especially right now we're number 1, and Danny just really makes an emphasis of take it all in, smell the roses, like enjoy what we're doing and enjoy that you're even in this position. So after the Kentucky game, she asked us, she said, like, was that a relief that you guys won, or were we excited that we won? And she's like, I don't want it to be a relief that we win. It should be super exciting that we just had a huge win, a reverse sweep against a really great team. So yeah, it's little things here and there that she, whether it's pregame or in the between the second and third set talk, like she's always just like, take it all in. Like, this is a cool atmosphere. We have a really great crowd in front of us, and we also have a really great team, and just getting to enjoy all those little moments that we might forget about in the heat of a game.
Did that make you like reconsider how you felt? Do you think there were players there who felt relieved to win that match?
For sure, but I do think that we had a good mindset after the game. Like, we were all really excited, and we knew going in that Kentucky was better than what they were ranked. So we were really excited to pull out that win, and I mean, we didn't necessarily need it to go to 5, but it's a good challenge for us, and just learning to win through the ugly and win in different ways is important for us.
What do you know about Utah?
I'll learn a lot today and tomorrow.
Obviously, you guys have a pretty good hitting percentage this year, but what are you working on personally to improve that?
Yeah, just consistency. I know that I have a great connection with all of our hitters, but just making sure that whether it's throughout a long practice or a long match, that I can keep that connection going.
What are some of the keys to doing that?
Just communication and talking before, during, and after plays is huge. Just kind of knowing, since we are switching up the routes, just understanding what route people are going to be on in different situations. But I think it's been going pretty well, and just, again, like fine-tuning little things. It's nothing crazy.
Andy talked on Sunday about how she kind of stripped all the complexity out of her game, just see ball, hit ball. I mean, what does that look like from your perspective of getting her in position to get back to the Andy everyone's used to seeing?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of say it to each other. I say see ball, set ball too. Like, it's not a complicated thing. We do it a million times a week in practice, so we just sometimes overcomplicate it in our heads during games. So just, again, falling back on that connection that we've had for the last 2 years and that we've worked on for the last 2 years, and trusting that if we just do what we know if we just do what we know we can do, that it's going to work out and we don't have to do anything crazy to make it work.
Is that conversation you're having amongst the players, or does Danny have to come in, or Kelly help out?
No, it's just me and Andy between plays, like whether it's just made an error or like I'm going to set you this ball. Like, it's just like she says see ball, set ball, I say see ball, hit ball, and we're good.
How would you assess how Harper's playing now that it's your third year together?
Yeah, I mean, she's taken it to another level this year, and she knows just the target that we're going to have on our back, and that she's going to have a big load in that. And outside always has a big load, and she's really taken that load on her back. So I'm really proud of her and just how she's performed. And I think we all knew that she had this in her, and she's shown it for all 6 of our games this year.
Back-to-back matches this week. As a player, do you go through anything different to prepare for 2 matches on consecutive days?
Not really. We had a lot of back-to-back last year, and I think a lot of us kind of like them. You kind of just stay in the game mindset even when the game on Friday is done, then you know you have a game again the next day. But they're kind of fun sometimes to just keep it rolling, and especially if you do get a win on Friday, then it feels good going in on Saturday.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Questions for Coach? How do you feel like your passing has been overall this season?
I think it's been solid. Of course, there's always room for improvement, and we want to be considered one of the best passing teams in the country. But we've also faced some really tough servers compared to a lot of teams. When Pitt and Kentucky had two of the best topspin servers in the country, so I think some of those numbers are skewed a little bit by aces, where hopefully we don't give up 4 or 5 aces against the same server too often this year. But definitely something we're going to continue to get better at. But overall, fairly satisfied. We hit, this weekend our passing numbers weren't as good as you would think, but we didn't have that many opportunities. And we hit over almost 400 as a team. So that's pretty good.
Talked about you don't win or lose a certain spot based off of one match. That clip I posted on social media gained a lot of traction, and then it got even more traction after you started Laney at libero this past weekend. So this is the question. It's more of like your mindset. Where do you learn that philosophy where you give the players opportunities to learn and grow match over match, and they don't lose confidence based off of one match happening, I don't play well, and I'm never seeing the court again? Because a lot of young girls talk about their coach would say that, and then they don't, and then they never play again. And it's really defeating to them as a young girl trying to grow in the game.
I think that you said it already, is as a coach, you want to do what you say you're going to do. And as a player, I mean, there's nobody you expect to play perfect all the time. And if people feel like they have to, that's when they're going to fail. So want them to feel free to make mistakes and to get better, and give them multiple chances. But at some point, if there is multiple chances and you have to make a change, then I want to be able to do that with full confidence that I'm doing the right thing too, not just making a gut reaction or something based off a small sample size. You want it to be based off a big sample size.
You mentioned the passing wasn't where you wanted, but you still hit 400. I mean, where's that get? Is that Bergen making up, or the hitters being able to do more with those out of system?
Yeah, I think, if you're so we, like, for example, one rotation on Sunday, we had 4 attempts. So you have one bad pass in that rotation, your number is going to be very low. Overall, yeah, the passing numbers weren't fantastic, but Bergen had a great game. Campbell came in and did great, and I thought our attackers were really aggressive and just played a complete game.
You feel Bergen's getting more comfortable running your system or settling into that faster tempo?
Yeah, I think she's getting more comfortable. I think just playing more, we're 6 games in now, so that is getting to be a bit larger sample size, and there's some comfortability there. So I think she's settling in nicely.
Week, and Bergen mentioned in here a minute ago the need for your team not to feel relieved after they win a big match. For you, why is that so important?
Because it's a long season, and if you're feeling relieved after every game, it takes a lot of the joy out of it and the fun. And I want our team to be playing free and enjoying every minute, and whether it's a big opponent or a small opponent, that we are taking it for what it is. And it's like the most important thing in this program is the thing we're doing right now.
Are there experiences, like as a coach or as a player, where you saw girls struggle with that? I mean, you go back to being in this program as a coach or a player, and having those expectations being ranked so high, where you see that like creating a weight on them if they're going to be relieved after a victory.
I feel like that we got that way a little bit at Louisville towards the end. It was just like this feel of relief instead of excitement, and we'd always, built our program on joy and enjoying the moment, enjoying the journey, all the cliche things that coaches say, but we weren't actually living up to that, and it was the opposite. So to feel that so early in the season, I was like, well, I don't want to go through the next 25 games feeling relieved. I want to be fired up for these wins, and it's a big deal to win. Not everybody gets to win, and it's hard to win. So want them to understand that too.
I'm sure you saw the Izzy Starkers this weekend. As a former player at this level, are you just able to speak on the mental toll that these players go throughout the course of a year, and maybe your perspective of it now as a coach, or things you may have to deal with throughout the course of a year behind the scenes?
Yeah, I just think that college sports are such a big deal now, especially with media, social media, and like these players are put on pedestals, and at the end of the day, they're college students. They're, working to get their degrees. They're having like meeting new people. They're living away from home for the first time. So it's a lot. And then on top of that, to be such a public figure in their sports, it's really, really hard. And even as a player, I didn't have to deal with social media, thank goodness. And the media was much less. It was really just in your little bucket or bubble of Nebraska. And the way the players handle it, is pretty phenomenal when you think about it from all sports. You look at the football team and men's basketball. So it's just a lot, and just grateful that Nebraska is an athletic department that understands this and puts the resources in place to support and try to stay ahead of, mental health and ahead of some of these things. We don't, take that for granted, that we're going to have moments that it's going to be really, really hard. And again, hopefully we're ahead of it to the point that we don't have somebody step away. But, sad news for them. Izzy's a fantastic player and such a great program. And I feel for what they're going through, particularly Izzy Stark.
Prioritized, having fun. Kind of piggybacking off of that, how important is that? It's kind of cliche, but like enjoying the moment, enjoying going to Nashville, enjoying these big things that have already happened, and just enjoying the fun of the game, just to kind of help with the mental side.
Yeah, again, we preach it all the time. We try to mix up practices, make sure that there's, it's a good mix of competition plus some silly games, and make sure it's new. And so we're not in this monotonous routine of school, volleyball, school, and just that's the way I want to approach each day. Like even with the staff, I don't want to come in and be feeling like this is only work. It's a game, and of course it means a lot to a lot of people, but it is just a game at the end of the day. So want to make sure we always remember that.
What do you know about Utah so far?
Really good serving team. So, when you talk about our passing, might not be up to standards. We have another great serving team coming in here, and they have one of the best outsides in the country. And so they're coached really well. Beth Lanier's been the coach there for 30 years, and they've had a lot of success and a lot of changes where they can continue to have success. So it'll be a battle. I also think the last few times Utah's been here, it's been 5 gamers and win. I think they won a couple. So really good program.
Into the 4th week of the season, do you feel like you have a good grasp of what the talent level is on this roster? There's still combinations, players, you're still trying to figure out their role and what needs to go on.
I think we have a good grasp. It's with this team, because it's so talented, roles will be evolving all year, but I think we have a better handle on how to use them, when to use them, and like what potential changes could happen in the future.
Rebecca on Matt Rule's podcast this past week mentioned that she wants to play from the attitude where she's pissing people off. And what does that look like in practice? Just away from what we see.
Well, I think Rebecca's done a great job of changing that from like, I'm going to chirp at people and get in their ear versus I'm going to get in their way with my play. And so in practice, it's really frustrating to play against her 'cause she touches everything on the block, and you might think you're getting a kill, and somehow this middle is like diving for the second ball. And so she's become more frustrating with her play, not just her voice. And you can see that translating to matches, just how hard she's working. And she just makes such a difference when she's out there. We also keep track of like 6-on-6 wins. And, most of the time Rebecca's team wins, no matter who else is on her team.
The entire non-conference set up before you got here.
Yeah. Yes.
What do you liked about how that you're in the non-conference? What do you like about how it's set up? What you got?
What do I like? I love the first serve. I'm bummed that you can only play in that 2 out of 4 years. Because I think getting that extra week is huge. Plus, it's just like a big build-up, so it's an awesome way to start volleyball. I also think we have a good mix of, teams that we quote unquote should beat versus some great competition. And getting to play some of the West Coast or Western teams is fun because we don't see them very often. So you talk about Utah, Arizona, Grand Canyon. We don't know a lot about them, so it's always fun to play those teams that you don't see all the time.
She likes the back-to-back matches because she can sustain that competitive mindset from one day to the next. How do you approach that as a coach of first back-to-back of the year?
Oh, can't say I have a strong preference either way. I think back-to-back you might worry a little bit more about rest time and how fresh we'll be the next day. So like you worry a little bit more about sleep patterns and meals, but other than that, it's pretty much the same as usual, and just really encourage the players to take extra care of themselves when it comes to the little things when you're playing back-to-back.
The entire season, is the sport moving away from that, or just giving them time to do that?
Yeah, I think it's TV. You know, the sport. They're moving matches midweek. They're showcasing volleyball at main times. So, I don't think it's really coaches or conferences that are pushing that. I think it's just more where the sport's going with TV.
So I'll tell them no, give that extra rest in there, though.
No, I won't tell them no. I also won't ever say no to putting a match on a major TV network. That's for sure.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Thanks, Danny.